Am I speaking with Mr. Baxter?
This is he.
This is Genevieve Vanderbilt. I require your professional help in a delicate matter. It's about a murder investigation. I'd rather not talk about it on the phone, though, so please come to our estate at 361 Prime Avenue.
I can't just leave before I've spoken to Mrs. Vanderbilt. I can't just leave before I've spoken to Mrs. Vanderbilt. How is that supposed to work? I don't have to jot anything down right now. I'm not so senile I have to write down everything. That would be a waste of perfectly good ammunition. Sometimes I feel as if Baxter. I'd like to talk to Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Mrs. Vanderbilt is in the garden. I'll take you to her.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baxter. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Of course. I'd like to get straight to the point, if that's all right with you.
Very much so. The sooner this unspeakable matter is resolved, the better.
You said on the phone this was about a murder investigation.
Exactly right. My son is being accused of murder. My son, Walter. What insufferable impudence.
About the murder circumstances. Who was the victim?
Dr. Bedford. Christopher Bedford. Bedford was my daughter Denise's fiancé. This whole matter is a tragedy for our family. First, the shameful way in which Bedford cancelled the wedding, and now this.
Where and when did the murder happen?
The police said Bedford was found dead in his practice yesterday morning. The murder must have happened the night before.
Who found the doctor?
His receptionist found him in the morning, they told me. A somewhat dim-witted little thing. No sense whatsoever of aesthetics and colors.
What exactly happened?
I didn't ask about the ghastly details, Mr. Baxter. I was only told that Bedford had been slain.
Slain?
Beaten to death. Horrid, really. And the police have the audacity to accuse my Walter of being able to do something like this to another person.
I think I've heard enough about the murder. You sound like you're convinced of your son's innocence.
1,000%. It is incomprehensible to me how anyone could ever accuse my Walter of murder. He is a highly respected member of the community and has never done anything wrong. This is all an outrageous effrontery.
How well did Walter and Dr. Bedford know each other?
Well, they hardly knew each other at all. I always had the impression that Bedford stayed away from the rest of our family on purpose. It was almost as if he wanted to steal our Denise away from us.
But surely he couldn't avoid you all that time he was with your daughter.
Of course not. But I always had the feeling that Bedford avoided the public eye, just as if that man had something to hide.
What has Walter told you about the incident?
Well, the truth, of course. He said he didn't have anything to do with the murder, and he was even more surprised than I that he's being accused. Unfortunately, I didn't have any further opportunity to speak to him. The police refused to let me talk to him. Unbelievable.
Has Walter exhibited any strange behavior lately?
No. Walter's behavior was downright normal. Nothing extraordinary. He even made the best out of the given circumstances.
What circumstances?
Well, a week ago, Bedford dissolved the engagement with my daughter. And this after the both of them had planned the wedding for half a year. The shame of it.
What was his reason for canceling the wedding?
Well, he never gave a reason. As if there could be any reason for such a disgrace. My poor Denise was devastated and heartbroken. And now this.
What was Walter's reaction to the wedding cancellation?
Well, he was furious, of course. What an outrage. My Denise abandoned, his sister, the family honor trampled underfoot, and all that in front of the entire family. The disgrace. Walter was forced to raise his voice and reprimand the doctor for his impudence.
Did Walter threaten the doctor?
Mr. Baxter, you must understand. This impertinence, this effrontery in front of the whole family. The ungrateful Bedford reduced us to the laughing stock of the community. He soiled Denise's name as well as the family honor.
I see.
If Walter threatened anybody, then it was only in the heat of the moment. Thoroughly understandable, I think.
What was the content of these threats?
Nothing really menacing.
I noticed that you keep referring to the doctor as Bedford. Please excuse my asking so bluntly, but I'm getting the feeling that you don't think very highly of the doctor.
I don't want to talk badly about Bedford, especially now that he's not alive anymore. But I admit you're right.
What did you have against Dr. Bedford?
The man was always a bit fishy, very close-lipped and withdrawn. His constant excuses to stay away from official family business shed a bad light on our name. I honestly don't know what Denise saw in such a man.
What kind of doctor was Dr. Bedford?
He was a plastic surgeon with his own practice.
Sounds like he was very successful.
Moderately successful, I'd say. But I have to hand it to the man. He had a talent for plastic surgery, but he wasted his gift entirely and only accepted patients from Los Angeles.
Exclusively from around here?
Exactly. He could have had international success with just a little bit of promotion.
If he didn't engage in any promotion, then how did he get any patients?
That, Mr. Baxter, is a very good question. He saw and selected his patients only in person. How successful he could have been. I've never understood what my Denise found so fascinating about a man who sells himself under value.
Do you know if the doctor had any enemies?
The sad and embarrassing truth is that I hardly know anything about Bedford, Mr. Baxter. I don't know anything about his friends and acquaintances. Unfortunately, I've never had a chance to meet his family either. Bedford had been an orphan since early childhood.
Enough about Dr. Bedford. Why have you contacted my agency?
First of all, I'm highly disappointed by the police effort. If you can call such a measure of incompetence and indifference effort.
So the police are satisfied with their main suspect?
That's right. I'll need to have a word with the chief of police. Fortunately, Brent is an old golf partner of my late husband, God bless him.
Yes.
Furthermore, your agency was recommended to me by a dear friend, Martha Stockman.
I remember. The Stockman case. How is Mrs. Stockman these days?
It's Miss Meadows again. After the results of your investigation, she divorced her husband, of course. Sad story, really.
Indeed. I'll be going then.
Please.
Alone. Good afternoon, Miss Vanderbilt.
Hello, Mr.
Excuse me. My name is Baxter. I'm a private investigator. Your mother hired me to clear up the circumstances of Dr. Bedford's death.
Chris? Oh my god, Chris.
About Dr. Bedford. Did Dr. Bedford have any enemies?
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Had there been anything unusual about Dr. Bedford's behavior lately?
Yes, Chris had been acting strange all week. He wasn't himself. Not the man I knew. The engagement... We were engaged, and... he called it off. Chris let me down. But my Chris would never have done such a thing. I don't understand. So furious. And now Wally is... oh god.
Please, calm down, Miss Vanderbilt. If your brother is innocent, I will find out and free him.
If Walter is innocent, there is no question about it. It's self-evident. We are talking about my son Walter, a Vanderbilt.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Baxter.
How long had the two of you known each other?
It had been almost 4 years now, and we were engaged for half a year, until last week.
Is it possible that
So different over the last days. Like a complete stranger. I'm not sure about anything anymore.
Had Dr. Bedford always stayed this long in his office?
Chris often stayed late to prepare for upcoming surgeries, or tend to some accounting. But he always told me He never stayed late without my knowledge.
Did he notify you this time too?
No, he was this busy all week. Now that you mention it, it started a few days before he called off the engagement. Chris missed appointments.
A few questions about Walter. Can you imagine any reason why your brother would murder Dr. Bedford?
Wally didn't take it too well that Chris announced our separation so surprisingly, and in front of the whole family. Everyone was so surprised. I still can't believe it myself. Everything went so fast. Wally became enraged.
And threatened him too?
Yes. No. Sure.
Do you know where Walter was at the time of the murder?
No, I don't.
Has your brother become...
Mr. Baxter, my...
Wally, he is very proud. He is very keen to keep our reputation clean. And he's always trying, but Wally wouldn't. No.
Enough about Walter. How are you?
Chris, and Wally, this is...
Thank you very much for your time. I don't want to disturb.
Hi, goodbye.
Ow! What?
Hello, Sam.
Oh, come on. You're just
Oh, yes.
the respect and that,
Gut-wrenching.
and of course the.
Oh,
Now, really,
I've been hired to... Does that ring?
yeah, I know a thing or two about the case.
Captain Pearson isn't...
Investigation after the main suspect. Well, all circumstantial evidence points to.
You're saying that as if you weren't so sure yourself.
Yeah. There are some inconsistencies. Some things a little off.
Wait a minute, sir. Please show me your visitation authorization.
I'd better not fiddle around with Sam when I still... Hey, Sam.
Hey, Al.
Can you tell me anything about the Vanderbilt case?
Bedford was found dead in his office yesterday morning around 8 a.m. by his receptionist. According to the medical examiner, Bedford was hit by a massive object in the back of the head, somewhere between 10 o'clock and 11 p.m. the night before. The outer window of the practice was broken, and Bedford's office had been ransacked.
Has anything been stolen?
We don't know for sure yet. Bedford's assistant is still in shock. But a strong box from his office cabinet has been found empty.
Everything looks like a break-in that escalated.
Up to that point, that is. When we questioned Bedford's assistant, it became evident that Walter Vanderbilt threatened the doctor. And we found Walter Vanderbilt's fingerprints all over the crime scene.
Enough evidence for the captain.
That's right.
Anything else?
Not for now. Oh, I almost forgot. Here's a photo of Bedford in case you need it.
Thank you, Sam. How's your new part?
It's going well. We did have our commute, but Bobby proved like a ducky.
So,
Don't even get me started.
I'll be going then, Sam.
Take care, Al. Don't.
I'd better leave that here. I'd grab one. Hello, officer.
Good afternoon, sir.
I need to enter the holding cells.
Are you related to the accused, sir? Then you'll need personal...
Listen, I was questioned.
I'm sorry, not without authorization, Captain Pearson's.
How long have you...
3 months, sir.
How do you like working in the force?
Just trying to do my job and fulfill my duties.
Aren't you getting bored with watch duty? Wouldn't you much rather have a coffee or a...
I'm just...
I gotta go.
Goodbye, sir.
Hello, Captain.
Baxter, what brings me the displeasure?
What can you tell me about the Vanderbilt case, Captain?
You? Nothing.
Captain, I'm investigating for the mother of the accused.
You're not investigating at all here. That's still our job. The Vanderbilt murder is a police matter alone.
Sir, I'm not so sure that Vanderbilt is the right guy. The evidence and my instinct tell another story. I've been a detective long enough to...
Exactly. You have been. But you chose to throw away your career to become a hired snoop. How is your career faring, actually?
Well,
forget it. Vanderbilt is guilty. The facts speak for themselves. In the investigation, is there anything else you want to harass?
I need an authorization to enter the holding cells.
And I need some aspirin for the headache your continued harassment causes me. Are you related?
No.
Then you'll need an authorization from a relative to be allowed to visit. Here, have this side.
Gotta go, sir.
Then get out of my office!
This is a blank form for a visitation authorizations.
Hokum.
Ah, Mr. Baxter. Mrs. Vanderbilt is in the garden. I'll take you to her.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Good afternoon, Miss.
I'll be going.
Please, and money.
Mrs. Vanderbilt, would you please sign?
Of course.
Thank you very... Here, a signed visitation authorization. Can I enter the holding cells now?
No, sir. I have explicit orders, please.
Hokum. Here is the authorization with Mrs. Vanderbilt's signature on it. Can I talk to the accused now?
Ugh. Fine by me. Do what you must. Here, show this to McMahon at the entrance to the holding cells. And now get...
Here you go. Assigned approval by
Very
Thanks. Walter Vanderbilt. Instantly recognizable. Hello, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Did Roy send you?
Who is Roy?
Roy Lieberman, my lawyer. And who are you?
My name is Baxter. I'm a private investigator. Your mother hired me to help you. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
And I'd love to answer your questions if I didn't have such a...
Would you like some aspirin? Should I call for a doctor?
No, it's this awful smell of chlorine in the air.
Hello, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Please,
Would you...
that awful smell...
I'll put the bucket out in the hallway. Hello,
Mr. Beck.
What can you tell me about the murder?
Nothing, seeing that I wasn't there when it happened.
So you insist on being innocent?
Of course I insist.
Mr. Vanderbilt, it's my job to help you. But I can only help you if you tell me the complete truth. No omissions. No distortion of the facts.
I'm very aware of my situation, Mr. Baxter. I don't have any reason to lie.
Where were you at the time of the murder?
In my apartment. I was sleeping.
Were you alone?
I'm afraid so. There are no witnesses.
What was your argument with the doctor all about?
Bedford was just a terrible person. He deceived us all into giving him our trust, and then abused it in such a shameful way.
I presume you're talking about the severed engagement with Denise.
Exactly. How he used her. And that in front of the whole family. Denise was inconsolable. That man, it's all his fault. I cursed him. I wanted to, but I did not kill him.
Were you in Bedford's practice the night of the crime?
No.
Then why were your fingerprints all over the crime scene?
Well, I was in his practice, but not the night he was murdered.
When were you there?
The night before. One day before the murder. I wanted Bedford to talk, of course. No reason, I wanted to hear from his mouth how he dared do such a thing.
What did he say?
Nothing. He couldn't give any reason at all. Nothing but that. How could it be better for Denise?
What did you do then?
I left.
Just like that?
Well, no. Maybe I threatened him again. I remember that. I don't know anymore, but I did not kill.
Any guess as to what might explain the doctor's behavior?
Maybe.
Yes?
Listen. I don't want... She's been through enough, so I'm asking you.
So what's your
Another woman. When I came into the practice to talk to Bedford, his assistant had already left. He was alone in his office and...
A patient, maybe?
Not at that hour. He was enraged and raised his voice.
What was it about?
I didn't care. His last... And that they should stay out of his life.
Do you know who the other person was?
No.
Well, enough about the murder. On to something else.
Yes?
So, how are you holding up here in prison?
Awful. The accommodations are far below what I'd call sanitary. The food hardly deserves to be called food. I couldn't even give it to the rats with a clear conscience. Not to mention the company around here.
The holding cell is no country club, sure. On the other hand, there's no obligation to wear a tie here.
Very amusing, Mr. Baxter.
I have to go.
Goodbye, Mr. Baxter.
I don't have to jot anything down right now. I'm not so senile.